of a remodel and a remake, and that's what it's getting at the end of this year. Currently, residents, as you might or might not know, can call 311 or can use a website or can even text 311 to get services or to get information about the city. So I don't think I have, let me see if this will play. We'll take a chance. Take a chance.
311 is really the point of entry for our residents, businesses, and visitors to find information or request services from city government. In the new 311 system, first we're going to build the system with Chicagoans for Chicagoans. It's really going to allow our residents to interact with us in a variety of channels. So if you want to text, if you want to tweet, if you want to use your mobile app, you can interact with government, request services, report issues, and then you'll be able to track that throughout the process. It'll be transparent to you where the request is, who has it, and when it's going to be completed. Pictures will also help with issues like this. Residents can take pictures of the issue, and our departments can also take pictures of issues to assist with information sharing and expediting processes. The new system will also enable residents to let us know how we've done. When a service request is completed, the resident will be asked to give their satisfaction rating with our service. So we're really excited about the new system. It's going to be a system built with Chicagoans, for Chicagoans. We're going to work on improving that resident experience with government, creating a more efficient and effective system that's transparent and improves customer service for all residents.
Okay. So that was Danielle Demeurer. She is the CIO of the Department of Information Technologies for the city. Just talking a little bit about what I'm going to go into a little more detail about, which is the modernization of 311. So what's new about 311? A couple of things, and you can see, hopefully you can see the screen, but there's going to be a new mobile app. So some of you may have used a 311 app before to do requests for services. Those were third-party apps. They weren't actually official City of Chicago apps. So this one is going to be an official City of Chicago app that you're going to be able to download from the Google Play or the Apple Store, and it's going to be very helpful. It's going to look, the design is going to look a little bit like this, kind of standard for all the different web apps that you have on your smartphone. Another part that's going to be that's new is it's going to the website right now, cityofchicago.org/311 is getting a total revamp and makeover. You're going to be able to submit service requests, find out information, track your service requests, all from a user-friendly site that has been designed, as Danielle mentioned, with you guys and with residents in mind. I actually am a resident over here, in, not too far. I live in Logan Square, right here in Pulaski. So with all of us in mind, the website has been designed. Now I've actually seen it, and we're doing some testing sessions. If anyone's interested in that, we have a couple more testing sessions coming up. But I've seen it, so it's actually happening. And sometimes it seems abstract when you just talk about a new system, but I've seen it, and it's really well done, and I think it's going to be a big win for Chicago. It's going to be about another month and a half before it all gets released to the city. With this new back end, with this new front end, there's an entirely new back end. So it's not just a sort of cosmetic improvement that the city is making on this, it's a whole entire overhaul. So there's a part of this project where the training is being given to the city workers on this new system, where the city staff who answers the 311 calls are getting trained. All of that is to say that this is going to create a more streamlined and more efficient process. So not only is it going to be quicker for you to use it, either when you call, and just to be clear, the phone calling 311 is not going away, you're still going to be able to do that, but for any user, whether that's phone, web, mobile, it's going to be a better experience for you, and then on the back end, there's going to be some built-in efficiencies that are going to make you get better service and service that's transparent. So you'll be able to see what the expectations are for fixing something in the city, and it won't feel like, which sometimes people have been saying, you submit a request for 311 and it ends up in a black hole or something like that. This is going to improve that. You're going to have, the city is going to be accountable, and you're going to be able to see what's going on. Another interesting feature of the new site is going to be a knowledge base, which is basically like the ability to go onto this website or the mobile app and search for things that you might need information about but don't actually need to make a service request for. One of the examples that I like to give is it happened to me with I had a squirrel infestation in my house. And this would have been very helpful because I didn't know that there are rules and regulations about squirrels here in Chicago. You can't just go do whatever you want to squirrels. You have to abide by certain codes and laws. So, for example, but that wouldn't have been a service call because, there was nothing I could do about the squirrels on my roof from the city's perspective. So I needed to get rid of them myself, but I wanted to know what the rules were. So had I had this website, I've been able to say, Chicago squirrels, and it would have pulled up articles that told me what the rules are, what the common asked questions are for squirrels, and things like this. So instead of having to figure it out on Google or whatever, I can figure it out with actual city information. The other cool part about that is that it's going to have a feature where you can vote up or down to this information. So gradually over time, the relevant information that's helpful to people is going to rise to the top, just like any sort of modern search feature. Another feature to mention is the ability, as Danielle mentioned in the video, to snap photos of your issue. So if you see graffiti, or if you see a pothole, if you see a street light, it's going to allow you to take a photo and send to the city so that there's easier identification. That's one of the more efficient ways that the city can serve us. And then if you want, the city, it's going to give you the ability to geolocate, meaning show the city exactly where you are when you make that request, so that it's not a guessing game of what the address is, and things like this. So these are all features that are on there, but again, everything is going to be as is or better. So you're going to be able to still call 311. You're also going to be able to do any of this kind of stuff anonymously. So for people that don't want to set up an account and have the whole system personalized to them, they can still just go on the website and submit a request or find information or do all that kind of thing. You will get more enhanced features when you take it to the level of setting up an account and things like this. Okay. And then last slide on the what's new is improved tracking and service updates. So as you can see here, there's sort of a little snapshot of what it's going to look like on the web and on the app, where you're going to have a service request number and it's going to show you exactly what status it's at. Here it has investigation, perform work, generate a closing letter, and then open follow-up work order. So just as a sample of what that could be, it's going to show you those things. And then it's also going to tell you service request resolution time, or SLAs as people call them, which means that this issue, for example, is expected to take 6 weeks, or this issue is expected to take 2 months. So you're not sort of blind in terms of what it is, what the city should, what you should expect from the city as far as getting this type of work done. It's going to tell you within a reasonable idea what that is, and then if they don't meet that, now you have your service request number. You can call back, or you can go online and say, hey, what's going on? Or a lot of people are going to say they're going to call their alderman and say, what's going on? Why haven't my service? So this is going to give you the sort of lens into that system. The phone operators will have the same system, so they'll be seeing the same thing as you. So that's more or less it for the spiel that I give about this. What we're doing is we're going to various alderman meetings, community meetings, parades, festivals. We're going to be out and about a lot in the summertime when it's street fest season and all that. But we're out there sort of telling people about 311 and the modernization, and we're trying to get feedback from people because we take that feedback, we give it to the city, and this is not going to be a one and done thing. It's not going to come out at the end of this year and then be done for good. It's going to come out and then it's going to be tested and continue to evolve. There's going to be next iterations and updates to it. So we're here to listen, to get feedback from people, and then to let you know that this is happening. So a couple questions that we like to pose, and then we can just open it up. When you think of city services, what do you think of? How do you guys use city services currently? If you could design something, what kind of features would you like to see? Or what would be sort of the dream state of this type of technology? And then, just basically, would you or would you not recommend 311 to others? What I like to say is that I hope that, and thank you to the Avondale neighbors for having me and us. Sorry to introduce Nellie in the back. I went right into it because you guys put me on this 5-minute part. I'm trying to run through it. But Nellie's my colleague here. we hope to be back to see you guys again. So hopefully when we come back, we can be talking about the new site and the new app and the new experience, and you can tell me how much you love it, how much you hate it, somewhere in between, and we can work from there. So this isn't a one and done thing. We will be back, and appreciate you guys coming. So with that, I think we can just open up the floor to questions. Oh, one more thing. Before I take questions, I always like to preface this as well. I don't work for 311, neither does Nelly. 311 actually doesn't give you any city services. 311 is sort of the clearinghouse or the funnel of information for city services. So if you call 311, that person's not going out and fixing your street, your pothole. Obviously, they're calling the water department or the streets department. So I can answer certain questions, but I can't tell you when the pothole on, you know, whatever street is going to be fixed. I don't know. That's still a 311 issue. So just wanted to preface that.
Any questions?
Call your alderman.
Any questions?
And thank you guys. So both the aldermen, thank you for being here.
Does this replace Chicago Works?
Chicago Works is a third-party app. Yes. So this is going to be, we're going to encourage everybody to download this. The reason that those exist is because they have a data sharing agreement with the city, so they're allowed to share data and sort of plug into the city system so that you can use them. But this is going to be the app to get. This is going to be the one you're going to want. And I'm not yet. You can ask me if those are still going to work. That's a good question that I don't know the answer to.
Somebody back there had a question.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple of quick comments. I think that you need to have a field on there that lists the name of a crew that does the job, because I called for a year to get a street light out because it was going on and off, and they kept closing it, and you get a 311 number all the time, and they would keep emailing me or texting me, yeah, your report's been, your work order's closed, but it was never closed because they never changed the light bulb until I was actually out there. I just happened to be in front when the guys came, and I said, hey, listen, I've been putting this order in for a year. I've never seen you or anybody come here to check on this. And they said, oh, well, somebody comes by and says if the light's on. I go, yeah, but there's a spot that says, does the light go on and off? And I check that every time for a year, and finally, it's just a matter of time. So there's got to be some accountability on who's closing that, and if the work is not done properly, how do you follow up with it?
Yeah. Well, two things. One is that the way that you're answering the questions about the issue is much more streamlined and much smarter. So it's giving you more specific. If anyone uses the website now, you can see it's a little outdated in terms of how it lays out the questions that you answer. This is going to be more tailored and it's user friendly. So it's going to get better information. Like you said, it'll ask you, does the light go in and out, or is it always on?
No.
Right.
It's been asking that for years.
And the other thing I would say is that with this system, certain things have redundancy to them, and which causes inefficiency here in the city. Like a worker will go out to do some work, and they won't know that there's work nearby that could get done on the same route. Or there's a worker that does work and closes the ticket, but there's 50 other people who have opened a ticket for that same issue. Let's just say it's a pothole.
Right.
This system is more sophisticated in that it shows you the parent ticket and the child ticket, which is what they call it in the sort of tech world, which then will show you when the issue is actually closed to all the children ticket, not just, you know, let's close this ticket to get it off of our docket here. It's going to tell you the status of the parent issue, not your ticket specifically. So there's things like that that are going to help with what you're asking.
Kind of piggybacking on that, is there, I don't know if there is, or spitballing the idea, a way to subscribe to each ticket for like alerts for it. So, so when you go to sign up for a ticket or put in, I got, you know, crazy pothole on my street or my street light's out, sign up for an alert every time there's a city movement on the thing. At least just get like an email or a text message or something like that. That way you know, like, okay, it's actually slowly moving through the chain of command, if you will.
Yeah.
Be a little bit ridiculous, I don't know, engineering standpoint, for like constant updates on the app, but for like maybe an email subscription kind of thing, just like, oh, okay, cool. Like they're supposed to be coming out in 2 weeks or something like that. I know to avoid the street that morning.
It's a great idea. That's feedback that we'll take to the developer of the system and as well to the city. Like that. You know, he's got it.
We have time for one quick question, if anyone
We
has
gotta move
a
on.
last one.
Anybody else have another question?
We're gonna be out in the table that's set up, and we have a couple of little things to give away if you want, some flyers, pamphlets, pens, things like that, and we're there to answer questions when the meeting's over. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.